Hello, hi, good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Myself, M. Giridharan, national instructor, and today is my uh, first stream. So I have to pick up things both technically also, and of course, I have to pick up some interesting chess stuff also for all of you. So I'm here to give you some interesting stuff. Hope you enjoy. And Uh, actually, I have went through some. I have went and I have undergone some fracture. So that is why I thought in this moment I should share some just passion with all of you. So here I am. So today, what we are going to discuss. So that is the matter, and today we are going to discuss some interesting stuff. We are going to discuss a couple of games about Alexander Alekhine. So I really love him for his style of play and aggressive and tactical brilliance. And he was world champion in 1927 by beating Jos Raul Capablanca. And he was world champion for a very long time from 1927 up till I think 1946, I think. Yeah. And there was a brief intermittent period of 2 years, 1936, where he lost to Max Eve, world title to Max Eve. Okay, so that was the thing. And he again regained the title in 1937. So, and he was the only player who, during his passing away stages, while he died, he held the title. So he was such a great player, and of course, we'll see his greatness in a few minutes, more greatness in a few minutes. Okay, so we have got, yeah, I think you can see me all. Yeah, so let us just discuss one of the games, one of the duel games from him. Here he is playing black, and the opponent is Boris Volensky, and here he played so beautifully, and this game was also positional also and aggressive also. So let us go here straight away. White is going e4, and e4 controlling the center. The central squares are e5, d5, and d4 and e4. In those days, actually e4, e5, for e4, e5 was the best move. So controlling the center. So both the players are equal, have got equal share in the center. So e5, okay, I'm receiving some messages over here. Mukund Adhikari sir. Okay, hello sir. Yeah, hello. So this is nice to have you all. Nice to have all your support during this period, but I can't stop myself from sharing the chess stuff with all of you, though I am bedridden. But nice, nice. You have joined. Okay. So I'm very thankful to my chess lovers, okay, and my family also in this first stream, who have been helping me both technically and also in preparing the what do you say, the little bits like attaching microphone, and I'm not good in techie, so they have been doing. And of course I selected the games for you, the interesting ones and instructive ones. So here I am. Yeah, so let us start with this, and I will have a little bit of water, so kindly. Okay, so let us start, come back to this. And white here played nf3, developing the knight towards the center, attacking the e5 pawn. So everybody plays nf3, and actually the purpose, actually the very few people know what is the purpose nf3. We don't usually see develop the knight towards the h3 square, because the this is away, h3 square is away from the central squares, as I have marked e4 e5 d4 d5. And my question is, why not in the corner, why in the center? That is, the answer is because in the central squares the knight has got more powers, any piece, not only the knight, but thank you. Why, thank you so much for your support. Nice, I am receiving the messages. And the knight is controlling the center and attacking the pawn, straight away attacking the pawn, instead of just sitting in the uh, corner. Okay, but we have got all armies, right? King is there. King's army is the main supervising authority is the queen, and then the rook comes, and the knight comes, bishop comes, and all have got some small powers, delegated. And no army, no part of the army should be idle. That is the basic uh, theory in chess also, as in the real battles also. So nobody should, when the war is going on, so you should not sleep, right? Any very important ministers or soldiers, they should not sleep. So this is why the same rule applies here also. In the 64 square magical board also the same thing applies. And हमें कभी कभी लगता है, मैं इंग्लिश में भी बात करूंगा, हिंदी में भी बात करूंगा, ठीक है, सब फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द हिंदी talking people, and also in Tamil also I will speak sometime. um, ये एक्चुअली जो नाइट है सेंटर की ओर डेवलप हो रहा है, बिकॉज द नाइट कंट्रोल कर रहा है, बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट स्क्वायर्स को कंट्रोल कर रहा है, e4 e5 d4 एंड d5. कॉर्नर की ओर नहीं जाता नाइट, बिकॉज कॉर्नर में वो जो नाइट है वो इनएक्टिव हो जाता है. सो दैट इज वाई it is not going in the corner, and actively attacking the pawn on e5. So that is the purpose of this move. So here let us see what black plays, or Alexander Alekhine plays. He plays nc6. So again the same rule applies. He will not go away from the center, and he will just control the central squares and supporting the pawn on e5, of course. कोई भी अपने pawn को lose नहीं करना चाहेगा, and the knight c6 is the best way. Of course, there are a lot of stuffs like you can support the pawn, e5 pawn with the d6 also, and here actually the d6 is not played during the tournament. I have not seen people playing d6. It's a very uh, rare thing, and the knight at c6 is the very real stuff over here. So supporting the pawn. So I think d6 is called. I think I have forgotten the name. D6 opening. So instead of knight c6, d4, d6. So can anybody tell from the audience what will be the opening name for this d6 move instead of knight c6? Yeah. Okay. So battle for control over the center. Wow. Why Parikshit? Very good. Okay. So what is the real d6? What is it actually? What is the name of this opening d6? I think it is. I think Philidor. Okay, Philidor opening, but here it is not played. Philidor is not played here, and okay, the knight c6 have been played to control the center, and the next move bb5. The Rilopus, the classic Rilopus. Okay, so it is, see, the first few moves, 10 or 12 moves, they usually concentrate on development of the moves. Okay. परचेसेस नहीं पता, ठीक है, मैंने बोल दिया. चलो, बढ़िया. नाउ द फर्स्ट फ्यू मूव्स यूजुअली फोकस ऑन द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पीसेस. ठीक है, ये नहीं कि हमें बैटल में क्या होता है, एक एक को एक एक रोल मिलता है. भाई तू उधर जाके खड़े हो जा और इस जो एनिमी को है उसके उसका ध्यान रखियो, वो आ ना पाए, अंदर घुस ना पाए. ओके, सो एक एक everybody gets small role. So bishop is getting here in this kind of opening. The bishop is getting posted on b5, very active place, attacking the knight. Okay, so a6 was played by Alekhine, attacking the bishop, and now the bishop c6. So nowadays b takes c6 is not played. Why? Because anything you can touch upon that. Why it is not played? B takes c6. Boris Volensky was also a great player in his days. So can anybody tell? Yeah, I have messaged which opening is on the board. So that was the thing. I will just wait for the message. Nowadays, why B takes c6 is not played. Okay, somebody has said Roy Lopez, very good. Here on the board it is, yeah, Anybody? Okay, so b takes c6. See here, what happens is, uh, usually d takes c6. Now d takes c6. Now if knight takes knight takes e5, then it is of course white को ये pawn मिल गया, जो center pawn था मिल गया, मगर white has moved to here. What happens is this attack comes q d4, attacking both the knight and the pawn. Okay, so that is why it is not played. And now, yeah, Magnus the king of chess, because the queen will not open, and queen will not open, and opponent easily take the pawn. Okay, nice. Okay, the q d4. Okay, very good, excellent. So q d4 takes the double attack on this, and while the queen is active, it can't be attacked, right? So usually what हम क्या बोलते हैं कि क्वीन को पहले पहले डेवलप मत करो, ठीक है? That is as per the principles of chess, because queen develop होगा तो it will be attacked, and you will be engaged on moving the queen here and there, and it will give the opponent the valuable time and space in development of its pieces. Okay, and black will be wasting his moves just to manage his queen. Okay, so that is why the queen is not we have been told in such a way. But here queen takes d4, queen comes to d4, attacking both the e4 and the e5 knight, and इसको जाना पड़ेगा कहीं f3 or something जाना पड़ेगा, and you can just kick off this pawn. Okay, so castling round says black has good piece activity. So yeah, of course black has got good activity, piece activity, and of course now the white will not never play this move. Can anybody say why? Anyone who can? Okay, so yeah, I have got the answer. M. M. Madhikari says it is castling. The white will lose the right to castle. So, and the king will be always near the central file, and it will be unsafe. The white king will be unsafe, right? Whereas black has got the option just to develop the bishop and the knight in some time, and then go for castling. So that is why it is not advisable to move the king. So these are all the basic thing which I'm explaining, okay, which I have got in my knowledge, so that I can share it with all of you. But as the game so okay, so not audible. What is not? Is there any problem with my sound? Everybody hearing? And let me check myself. What is happening? Here the audible. Yeah, here it is saying audible voice is connected. So Yeah, okay. So it's audible. Yeah, now I have checked it. Right. Now, so that is why the white king will never go here. This is a side variation. This was not actually played by Alekhine and the GM. I'm just explaining to you in the side variation all of this stuff so that whatever knowledge I have, I can just share it with you. So that is the main purpose. It may be boring for the this thing intermediate and advanced player, but I will go up to that level also. Okay, be with me, be fine tuned with me. I will take you to that level also. And yeah, so here usually the queen e2 comes blocking. Okay, and here black plays queen e2 and king e2, and again the bishop develops and pins the knight. Okay, the only piece which was developed, that is the idea, and the black king is ready to castle and activate the rook. Okay, so that is the trick of this. Why b takes in the classic royal opus, why b takes c6. This was the first move while we played. Okay, so that is why the b takes c6 is not played. I will just take you to that move. B takes c6. This was actually played. So that is why this move is not played in these days. So okay, now let us go back to that main what do you say, main game what was played. D takes c6, d4. Okay, so d4 has been played. For d takes c6, and we just discussed n takes e5. So this was not played. Boris has played d4. Now here black has played e takes d4. Okay, and white plays queen takes d4. Okay, so this was actually played. Now what Alekhine decided is to exchange the pieces, exchange the queens. Okay, and whenever the queens are exchanged, you can the end game comes. It is the normal practice that when the queens are not on the board, end game starts. But here it is only 6 moves. Okay, we cannot say the end game has started. But when the queens are away out of the board, we say the end game has started now, in spite of 6 moves. So queen takes d4 and knight takes d4. So this is the final position here after the 7th white move. Okay, now dear all chess lovers, tell me what can black play? What are the available moves black can play? The small quiz, I will just keep it just to make me awake and also you awake. So yeah, okay, bc5 castling around. He's saying bc5. Okay, yeah, we'll discuss all of the moves. I am here to share with you the stuff. Knight development. Okay, and I understand that knight. Okay, which is not developed. Okay, nf6. I'm receiving a lot of answers. nf6 attacking the pawn. Okay, right. Okay, and even I am receiving castling. So just black can develop be6 and a long castle. Okay, be6. Okay, so I will just consider all of this, and um, of course I need to discuss uh, the pros and cons of every move. So thank you for contributing to this chat in the way of your opinions. First of all, uh, let us say the first as bc5. Okay, so after discussing all, we will just go back to the main line, what was played actually. Okay, so bc5. So what happens in bc5? Okay, bc5 is also playable move. Here the white can either support this by be3, or it can just counter attack by nb3. Okay, then nb3, then bd6, or it has to take care of the control center. Okay, so this is the one. In my opinion, nb3, if nb3, we have to again still move the bishop to either d3 or b6. Okay, so what happens if we go to b6? So it is more or less we are wasting one move over there. Okay, because again the bishop is getting attacked, and uh, this is also playable, no doubt. I'm not saying it is wrong. It is playable, right? So very good. And what about others? bc5. Let us discuss about nf6 also. nf6 is attacking the pawn. That's good suggestion. nf6. Here, since the uh, uh, queens are gone out of the board, white queen is gone out of the board, white can just support it with the f2, f3. Okay, so it is just like a chain, and supporting the e4 pawn. Okay, and then it can in later on it can play king f2 or king d2, e2, and then develop the rook in the center. So anyway, it's equal. It is also playable, no doubt. It is not a blunder, right? It's not a blunder. So now nf6, and what are the bishop? Again, anything I can. Okay, Magnus the king of chess. The name is very nice. Magnus the king of chess. Bishop e6. So bishop e6. So bishop e6 and long castle. Okay. Usually what happens is we do not give the long. Bishop is a long range piece. Okay. Bishop is a long range piece. We do not give it for the knight. Okay. So here what happens is knight into e6, and okay, of course you are of course the castling option is open for you, long castling. F takes e6. Right here, what happens? See, you can say the pawn island. See how much pawn island? This is one pawn island, and this is second. This is third pawn island. So why I'm telling island is the number of islands. If the number of pawn islands is more, it is very difficult to manage in the end games. Okay, because the lone king cannot go and support everywhere. So that is why we should not have more pawn islands ideally. Okay, in some games pawn islands help you, right? In specific end games, the principle of double weakness it creates for the opponent, right? So but here usually in the opening we maintain that the pawn island should not be much. Okay, so it will create problem of for us, and white's position will be a little bit advantage in bishop e6. So Now what happens is bishop e6 and g6. So g6 is also there on the cards, right? G6. So here g6 can be played so that it is controlling the long diagonal, right? Okay, so one, it is playable, no doubt it is playable, but here what I will come back to that main line. Okay, so g6. Okay, so here Advik Mittal, okay, Mittal Advik, okay, he has suggested c5. Okay, c5 is a very good move, controlling the center. Okay, that's what played in the game. Congrats, okay, for matching the Alekhine move, and c5 was played in the game, and so I think I have explained the doubts, right? But here this is not a doubt, actually I'm just giving you information, that's all. So what was played in the game and what is the move, and every move, and everybody gave me the playable move only, right? Knight e2, knight retreats, and the next is bishop d7. See, why the bishop is on d7? Something is, this is a very tricky move. Okay, bishop d7. So because I will just tell you that this pawn is a little bit isolated now. Okay, so that is why the plan of black's plan will be just go and attack this, right? Bishop d7. So now let us say that white castles, right? Now it can, castle is also no doubt, but here black can play uh, bishop. Here actually the black can just castle, long castle, okay, keeping the rook inactivate, right? So now why b e7 is played, I will just tell you. B d7, sorry, b d7, and here b3 was played actually. Okay, b3 preventing the ba4. So b3 actually, normally what happens is, or let us say b3, yeah, b3 was played. Normally what happens is every pawn move creates a weakness. Okay, so b3 creates weakness in, yeah, thank you sir, okay, good. Okay, now see, b3 creates a weakness in which square, the c3 and the a3, every pawn move. So we have to be, कहने की बात ये है, pawn move में थोड़ा careful रहना पड़ता है. Okay, so that is the thing. And தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னாக்கா weakness, pawn move எல்லாம் weakness create பண்ணும், but நம்ம தான் யோசிக்கணும் எந்த pawn கரெக்டா எவ்வளவு மூவ் பண்றது இல்லை, right? So that is the thing. And b3 of course create a weakness, but how Alexander Alekhine takes care of this, and the next move was very good move. Yeah, so I should not say this move because this move was played, whatever black played, this move was played earlier by Alexander Alekhine against Dr. Sigbert Tarash. Okay, just I want to ask you, what can be the move here? Yeah, c3 and a3 are now, but bb2 can be developed. Yeah, correct, that's correct. But pawn structure, how he bb2 can be played, no doubt, after b3, but how the Alekhine took advantage of this pawn structure, you know, c2, b3 and a2, is that May I tell, or anybody from the audience can? Okay, so yeah, M Adhikari 85. He is saying that B5 can be played. Okay, so B5, what happens? Let us see. But it is not, in fact, it is a preparatory move, right? It's a preparatory move to which move? See, here what happens is Alexander Alekhine played a beautiful sacrifice, pawn sacrifice, c4. Okay, c4 is just destroying the white pawn structure. Okay, so it's creating more island in white's camp. So let us see that whether whites accepts or not. Okay, so b takes c4. White has accepted this, and now हमेशा क्या होता है जब हम टूर्नामेंट में होते हैं, हम ऐसे खेलते हैं, हमारे माइंड पे होता है कि यार मटेरियल लूज नहीं करना, हमने पॉन लूज नहीं करना, बिशप लूज नहीं करना, है ना? तो ऑफ कोर्स मटेरियल लूज नहीं करना, नो डाउट, but we can lose material or pawn with a purpose, with a strong purpose. Okay, so that purpose and planning should be there in your mind so that you can take advantage of the opponent's position. Okay, and your pieces should be active. So that is the thing. So here Alekhine played a c4, made a pawn sacrifice, and of course Boris accepts it. Okay, and here you can see that ba4 is coming, right? In the diagonal, c2 is being attacked, that diagonal, and next knight f6 can also come and attack the e4, right? And of course the rook can also come, right, in the center after long castling. Right, now that is why we have to, what do you say, we have to keep our mind open, right? For every move we have to consider every move. So बड़े बड़े ग्रैंड मास्टर्स बोलते हैं कि कैंडिडेट्स मूव थिंक करो, सोचो आराम से, एंड वन बाय वन उसको एग्जीक्यूट करो और एवेल्युएट करो. एग्जीक्यूट करने से पहले एवेल्युएशन बहुत जरूरी है. ओके, सो एवेल्युएशन करके जो भी गलत मूव है उसको डस्टबिन में फेंकना है. मैं तो बोलता हूँ भाई डस्टबिन में फेंक दो, ठीक है, जो भी गंदा मूव है. सो यू डू द एलिमिनेशन मूव, and elimination, the method of elimination, right, that is called eliminate. कर करके you achieve to the, you come to the strongest move on the board. Okay, so starting में मुश्किल होता है थोड़ा सा वो करने के लिए, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे आपको पता चल जाता है. so and यहाँ एक और भी है ऐसे मूव्स खेलने के लिए. इंट्यूशन की भी जरूरत होती है. जहां आप कैलकुलेशन नहीं कर सकते, थोड़ा इंट्यूशन, आपको अपने ऊपर भरोसा रखना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो इंट्यूशन की भी जरूरत है काफी. तो चेस प्लेयर डेवलप कर जाता है ना, उसका कोई वो नहीं है, मतलब कि चेस प्लेयर कैन डू एनीथिंग, राइट? ही कैन बी एक्सपर्ट इन मैथमेटिक्स, ही कैन बी एक्सपर्ट इन व्हाट डू यू से, द डिफिकल्ट ऑफ थिंग्स, नो, ही कैन बी एक्सपर्ट. ठीक है, तो इसको चिंता करने वाली बात नहीं है. सो व्हाट एवर आई एम सेइंग, वर्ड में भी मेरा वर्ड थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है, Magar he can do anything, chess player. So so that is the purpose. So right here b a4 has been played. So here actually black can play uh, black can play what? b a4 was played. Okay, let us go with the game actually. b a4 attacking the c2, attacking the weakness of white, and here white continues with c3. वेरी सरप्राइज मूव c3. वो कह रहा भैया मैं एक पॉन भी नहीं दूंगा. ठीक है, तो मैंने एक पॉन मैंने एडवांटेज ले लिया तो ले लिया. ठीक है, अब क्या हो रहा है c3 में, क्या हो रहा है, एक तो पॉन तो बच गया. So anybody can from the audience who can. Okay, somebody from the audience, okay, right? Yeah, I want tea badly. My family is asking whether I want tea or not. Yeah, मेरा गला सूख रहा है धीरे धीरे. तो बीइंग फर्स्ट स्ट्रीम, हो सकता है कोई गलती हो, माफ कर देना भाई लोगों. ठीक है, तो छोटी मोटी गलती के लिए. एंड आप लोगों के साथ ज्वाइन करके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है मेरे को. हम थोड़े घंटे के लिए मैं प्लास्टर भूलने वाला हूँ अपना. Oh, thank you. Get well soon, sir. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, what was my question? So c3. So here, what can be the next move for black? So from next time, what I will do is to introduce polls, right? Um, since this is the first time, I will just basic say. Okay, so here, yeah, triple O. Triple O has been done by Alekhine, right? Triple O. And what is the threat here? What is the threat here? So the threat is what? If let us say just I'm just this is not played by big players. This is not displayed. Just for your benefit, I'm just saying. Okay, so h3. So what can be played here by white, by black? Sorry. Yeah, poles will be better. Yeah. So actually, Alexander Alekhine was a very fantastic player in terms of aggression, tactics, and everything. So yeah, so this RD1 checkmate. Hooray! Hooray! Yeah. Whenever we get checkmate, we get a very, what do you say, with the height of the joy. No? We reach the height of the joy in our life, so that the sense of being achievement, right? So that achievement we are able to get in chess. That is the beauty of chess. Okay, so good. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, now the castling has been done. This was the move, right? C3 and triple O. This was the stage where we left, and we have come back. And yeah, so can we have a game of 3 minutes by ID Monitor Bond 08 after this game? Okay, we can have, but three. See, this is the first, being the first thing. I can have, no doubt. I will start that in a separate program. Now I will start that kind of, interaction. Okay, and I also want to play with all of you, so that my chess stuff is alive. So I triple O, and knight D2. He's blocking that. He's blocking that D file. And what happens if we go for castling? So yeah, so go for castling. Okay, this is also playable. Okay, but here the king is going inside, and of course it is safe. The king is going safe, and still the black is faring better. And then these three pieces are yet to be developed. Okay, 12 moves has been played, and the queen side pieces are still dormant. Okay, so that is the thing here. So triple O, knight D2, and after that black has played one very positional move. This is positional move, BC2. BC2 is just stopping. See, the bishop has to develop, but it is just stopping this rook B1. Okay, so rook development. So this is a prophylactic move we can play. But with a lesser, what do you say, lesser advantage. But see, during those days, what happens is, um, we didn't have computers or engines, right? Now, without those benefits, a player of the caliber of Alexander Alekhine can think like this. Means it's a very, what do you say, we cannot imagine. So bishop c2, I like this move, but here what we can say is knight f6 is better, because development of the pieces is much preferred nowadays. And yeah, development of pieces. But here bc2, I really like this move. What Alekhine played, I like this move, right? Preventing that rook to be developed. Right, now white played f3, supporting the e4 pawn, so that the knight on d2 gets freed. Okay, knight on d2 gets freed, and yeah, okay, so f3, now bishop c5. Now this is a very क्या बोलते हैं वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना, बड़ा मस्त मूव है ये बिशप c5. आई लाइक दिस काइंड ऑफ मूव्स. भाई इसको ओपोनेंट को ना स्ट्रैंगुलेट करना है, क्योंकि वो किंग अभी f3 खुल चुका है. नाउ g1 में he cannot castle, right? So this kind of move ना opponent को suffocate करना, and the rook on h1 is just gone out of the move, and a1 is also gone, right? So out of the move, what he can do is he can just h4. He can play at most h4 and bring the rook, and that is not purposeful, right? So he has to waste some moves, or a4 he has to waste some move, right? a4 and a5. a4 के बाद भी he cannot रुक a2 कर सकता है, रुक a2 के बाद डेवलप होगा, बट he has to, white has to lose many moves for that. So ये बिशप c5 तो मस्त मूव है बिल्कुल, ठीक है. तो यहाँ व्हाइट क्या खेलता है, a4, ठीक है. इसका रूक भी डेवलप करना है अभी, राइट. नाउ n f6, as we thought that n f6 is development of move, and the plan can be, it can go to the plan can be, as I'm seeing, n d7 and b6, right? So attacking both a4 and c4. Now n f6. Now black plays bishop a3. Okay, so why this bishop has been played? What is the need of playing ba3? Just can anybody say from the audience? Because I want to know, see, opponent के मन में जो भी है वो पता लगाना है हमको, है ना. So that is the chess, and उसका जो दवा है हमें ढूंढ निकालना है. तो that is why I'm asking. I'm just ba3. Why? So of course, if you like this my explanation of moves and everything, please give a like and subscribe. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so he is saying rook gets active. Okay, Mittal Advik and M Adhikari says O-O. Yeah, that is true. Why ba3 is being played? So that is the question. Mittal Advik is saying rook gets active. Okay. That's one reason. Rook. So without bishop a3 also white can't castle actually. Short castle is not possible. Okay, because of this, right? G1 is attacked by the black bishop. Okay. Fork with knight rook. Fork with knight rook. What is meant by that? So I will also teach आप लोगों को notation भी थोड़ा बताना पड़ेगा, so that actually I'm not able to explain. I understand this. Okay. Okay, no problem. See, bishop a3, what happens is the rook gets activated. If you exchange, what happens? The rook gets activated. Okay, so the second very most important thing is, the reason is, white का जो bishop है वो less active है compared to the bishop on c5, black bishop on c5. So the white wants to exchange that bishop. Okay, so that is the thing. And here what he played, Alekhine played is be3, the wonderful move, and b3 is just controlling that g1 square, and also that a7 g1 का diagonal अभी control कर रहा है, so that he can, and putting some effort, more stress on the d2 knight. Okay, now अगला knight f1, of course attacking that bishop, annoying bishop. This bishop is very annoying, and जैसे जैसे पीस फर्स्ट रैंक को जा रहे हैं आप लोग देख सकते हो, व्हाइट का जो पोजीशन है इट इज ऑलमोस्ट ऑलरेडी क्रैम्प्ड. Okay, the rook is, both rooks are there, and just waiting for the development, and the knight is retreating back, and without any purpose. Okay, now bishop a7, the safest square, because this bishop has done its job in cramping the white's position, and it is coming back to a7, the safe square for it. Now a5, because the pawn is, the a4 pawn is here, it has to protect, right? So simple protection, rook d3. Okay, so rook d3. So whenever we understand that whenever the rook clears the first rank, see, this is the first rank for black. Okay, this is the first rank for black. If you see, whenever any piece is taken out of the first rank, that means it is called clearing, right? So for the next piece, so maybe it may be doubling the rook. The idea may be to double the rook. Okay, that is a normal understanding. Let us see what Alekhine does here. c5, so blocking that diagonal, annoying black bishop from attacking. So as planned, rh d8, king f2, just taking the king away from the scene of the attack. So knight d7, so knight d7 is just attacking that c5 pawn, so that the bishop gets a clearance and it remains active on that diagonal. Here ne3 has been played. Ne3 is played just to bring out that rooks on the connected rooks, and also it can play, I think, knight d5 also. It can be played in some time, not now, in some time. Knight e3, n takes c5. Now this is the less active piece. Okay, this bishop is very valuable. a7 bishop is very valuable, controlling the black diagonal. Sorry, I have not this one. Yeah, so black diagonal a7 and g1 diagonal is very, very important. That's why the bishop, the pawn is taken by the knight. So these are all small decisions. You can keep it in mind while playing your move, not playing a very, what do you say, in a hurry. Okay, a castle can happen. So how was that? Now the king has moved, right? So okay, so here we go. Bishop b3. Why bishop b3? Here actually the Alekhine has played with the, what do you say, um, purpose. Bishop b3. Why? If knight, let us say if knight b3, let us say if knight b3, what happens is the knight comes into play, right? And now this rook a, this knight is also, so now the diagonal is cleared, right? So this is pinned, the knight is pinned. It has to, this knight has, this rook has to move and come back to this to support this piece, right? And now this knight can take this pawn, okay? And it is again coming to c4 and again putting a pressure on this, okay? And if r8 d sub r1 r e2, preparing for this, what happens is, can anybody tell what happens? This is not played actually, I'm just asking, right? R2 RE2 is just this thing, planning to bring the other rook. Okay, good suggestion, Mithal Advik, very nice. R takes e3, just blasting open that diagonal, r into e3, r into e3, and now this is pinned, okay? Don't take it with, in this type of situation, don't take it with this, okay? Because this bishop is very, very valuable. Now dislodge this king from the rook, okay? From its own rook, the king has to move somewhere, and then you can take this free rook, okay? So that is the main hook of this. Okay, so this was what do you say? So king e2. Now what happens is, see, b3, and we discussed all the possibilities of n takes b3, right? So that was not actually played. Here he played king e2. The blunder. Usually what happens is, in this kind of positions, whichever the piece is active, piece of the opponent that is attacking, we eliminate that, okay? If almost black is in a very winning position, okay? But here what was recommended is b takes c5, ठीक है? Opponent का उड़ा दो, जो भी attacking piece है उसको उड़ा दो. So that is the thing, b takes c5, b takes c5, and now rook takes now ra c1. So ra c1. So this was the line which should have been played to avoid more difficulties. But anyway, so b3, king e2. Actually what white का क्या concern है, ये जो diagonal है a7, इससे हट जाऊं मैं, and pin भी हट जाएगा. Okay, so this knight pin was very annoying. Rook takes c3, and now white played b2. Okay, b2. Here also he could have taken b takes c5, and rook takes e3. So this, see, this is the one. This rook takes e3 is the best. Why? Because we are giving away rook for two pieces. Okay, how I'm going to explain this? Can anybody explain how? Rook takes e3. Very nice. Okay, castling around says king takes e3, and here knight e6. Okay, again pinning this. Okay, what happens? I can support it by r a. What do you say? I can support it, right? Achha, I cannot support this rook because the bishop is occupying a key square. See this bishop. This beauty of this bishop is b3 bishop is it in the beginning of the game it went to a4 and went to c2, stopping the development of the rook, and it is still saying sailing on the same diagonal. Okay, bishop b3. So just stopping the key squares. Okay, the bishop is working wonder, and this bishop is also working wonder. So ऐसे बड़े बड़े खिलाड़ी का ये है कि they keep the pieces, what do you say, they utilize the pieces to the max. So ऐसे ऐसे बड़े खिलाड़ी से हमें सीखना चाहिए. Okay, so and they are not letting it support. This d1 square is covered and a4 square is also covered, and this poor piece is getting pinned. जब भी हम ओपोनेंट का दो पीस लेते हैं, एक्टिव पीस लेते हैं, एक तो हमने नाइट लिया एक्टिव पीस, और ऑफ कोर्स हमारा भी रुक एक्टिव था और नाइट से मटेरियल ज्यादा था, मटेरियल वैल्यू ज्यादा था, मगर रुक टेक्स e3 उसका एक्टिव पीस लिया और हम नाइट व्हाट इज इट n e6, so we are going to take this piece also. So that is why this is a tactic in which we take two pieces for a rook. Okay, so mathematically you can say that 3 plus 3 6 ho gaya, and we are giving 5 points, and but more importantly position bada important hai. So we are just continuing the cramping of the white's position. That is very very important. Knight e6, yahan rook a3, white is attacking. भैया आप वो लोगे तो मैं ये लेता हूँ, बिशप ले लेता हूँ, है ना, मगर यहाँ white black continues with and d4. Now what happens? It can't touch, the rook can't touch the b3, but of course the normal move जो भी होता है, natural move होता है, you can white can play here bishop d4. Now r d4. Okay, r takes d4 will be the move. Okay, so you can't touch this. King f4, यहाँ इस diagonal से जाना पड़ेगा. Now you have got one rook. Okay, the position is you have got two bishops. Now this bishop can be saved by bishop e6. Okay, now there are this one bishop pair is more than one rook. Okay, so that is the position evaluation of this, and of course this one of the rooks is still to be developed, so that is main drawback of white's position. And if you count the number of pawns, so this is isolated, a5 pawn is isolated, 1 2 3 4 5 white pawns. Here we have got 3 plus 6, so 6 pawns which are connected, which are, see the connection. Okay, and in the end game this is going to be sure win for black. Okay, so this was the actually the variation, this was not actually played, and r takes. So here what happens is bishop takes knight takes d4. So this was the last move, we are returning to the main line, knight takes d4, and the white played king f4. Okay, just now running away from that diagonal. Okay, now here black played bc5, attacking that rook, and white played rh a1. So actually normal move is rook takes b3. The normal should have been played here, but he leaves that rook. I don't know why. So the reason best known to Boris why he played rh-a1. So here black plays ne2. Okay, king g5. Now what happens? King g5. Anybody? Bishop e7. Black played. Alexander Alekhine played. Bishop e7. King e3. Knight e6. Okay. Both bishops are helpful. Both bishops are helpful. Bishop pair are fantabulous. You see. Now king h5. Now again the king. Notice that the king is on the white square. So the black can play one move, creating a discovered what is it? Yeah. Okay. King h5. And now black played rd3. Okay. Why rd3? Can anybody say? This was doing fine actually. Okay. Supporting bishop. Okay. Okay. Right. ठीक. Okay. Supporting bishop. See here, I'm just playing this thing. What do you say? Dummy move so that we know what happens, right? h3. Now what happens is uh, rd3, s3. Now black can play be6. Okay. Why be6? Because if you take this, what happens? Mittal Advik has very beautifully said that g6. Okay, then we can play g6 also, but here there is where the end is very simple for black. Without the rook, you can play ng3 or nf4. Okay, game finish. So that is so. But we can play without rd3 also. We can play, right? So why it is not played? Bishop e6 can be played here. What happens? Here b takes g7 is coming, right? So these squares are getting weak. Okay, so rd3, rd3. Now what happens if I take b takes g7? What happens? Now knight f4. Okay, king. You can go to g4, or you can say h6. Let us say g4. Okay, n takes g2. Okay, so this sort of continuation will be there, and here also black is perfectly winning, right? So white's all pieces are tied to one another, right? So RD3 was the game we played, and B takes G7 and knight F4, and here King H6. Okay, King H6. After King H6, White resigned actually. Why? We can just take the rook. B takes A3, and it is all game over, right? R takes A3. Okay, and takes G2. All game over, and black is enormous in material. Okay, so White resigned this game here. Okay, guys, I hope you like this game and also my explanation. I have explained to my best of knowledge, and I'm very glad that you people contributed to this, uh, contributed inputs to this game, and I had also a chance to visit your ideas also. Thank you so much for this. And if you like this explanation, please like, subscribe without saying, and thanks a lot. And I will bring more ideas and games, interesting games, in the next few sessions. Okay. So thank you all. Thank you.